Hey guys, so I am reviewing the Vantrue N1 Dashcam here. I do have the version with GPS, so I want to show you an overview but also dive into those GPS features as I haven't seen that very much yet. Now if you'll notice, the mount is a little bit different than the standard N1, and that is because of the GPS. You'll see that logo at the top. But overall, this is still a tiny camera, very discreet, very easy to attach, very easy to set up, and very easy to use. So I'll dive into the features real quick of the actual camera, then we'll look at the web interface and an example video. So this is the actual dash cam here. Quick overview on the buttons. On this side, we've got the power, the actual turn on and off the recording, as well as a menu option. On the top, the micro SD. It's easy to take in and out, just a fingernail for most people should work. As well as the connector for the actual window mount. There is nothing really on the left side. On the bottom, we have a reset button, the HDMI output if you wanted to view it on a television. And then there's also a mini USB for connection to the computer, as well as a speaker for the actual on-camera playback functions. On the front, just the lens as well as an infrared light. That's going to be used for the motion detection function I'll get into a little bit later. Now on the face of the camera, you'll see a few multi-purpose buttons. The primary functions, this is a menu option as well as up and down selectors to navigate through those menus. The recording button is going to serve as the OK. The multi-purpose on each of these, the M button will serve as an emergency lock, so if you did need to keep a video from getting overwritten if there was an accident or something you wanted to view later, you'd press that. Up will mute the microphone so it does not record audio, microphone's at the bottom there. And then this is the parking monitor. That's going to use that motion detection feature we talked about earlier. Then I will go in and show you just a very quick overview of the actual operation. So on the main screen here, you'll see a status icon on the top left that's going to show whether or not it is currently recording video. It will auto-record when you turn on your car, as well as a few other status indicators just on the face here. Date and time, the battery, as well as whether or not the microphone is recording. You'll see the white with a red line through it means it is not recording audio, and the orange would mean it is. It does have a rather small battery, only if you needed to review some video on the side of the road, maybe if there was an accident to show an officer. Now, another thing you would notice on the face of this camera, if you have the GPS module plugged in, which it is sold separately even if it says with GPS, that is actually going to show the speed on the face of the camera on this screen here as well. That is an easy way to test whether or not the GPS is working when you get it set it up, but do pay attention to the road. I'm going to navigate really quick through these menus. We have our recording options that will let you choose the resolution, a couple other settings, as well as what is hard stamped onto the video. So looking at that real quick, you can choose whether or not the date and time, the Vantrue logo, car number, speed, GPS, etc. are hard-coded into the video for your review later. Files will let you review videos actually on the side of the road in your car, wherever you may be. Normal will just show your standard recordings, nothing special happened, just recordings throughout the day. An event would be anything that you saw if you'd hit that emergency button or the G sensor had noticed a shock. Now looking at GPS setup, not really anything to change there, just make sure you set the GMT for your time zone, but past that, really no settings need to be changed. As long as you have the GPS mount plugged in, you're good to go. And lastly, looking at the system setup options, not much here you're probably going to need to change, but there is a language option. The time setup, you can set your car number with, say, your license plate, so that might be hard-coded onto the video, as well as other standard features, including TV standard, format the SD card, and show the default settings, reset it back to those factory settings on the actual camera. Now, there are a few things that are important to know. There are two versions of this camera in the Amazon store. One shows that it does not have GPS, the other shows that it does. Now, it looks like that mostly changes the firmware, whether or not you have those GPS settings actually on the camera menu, but you do still need to purchase the N1 GPS mount on the store. Now, I do want to show you what it looks like when you plug the N1 into the computer. Now, you can look at your normal file browser. You'll see the video clips in 5-minute settings or whatever you happen to have the loop set at. 5 is the default. Now, the normal Windows Explorer or Mac Finder would show this as each individual file, including snapshots would show up as individual video files. An event would be, like we talked about earlier, if it did notice a quick G sensor change, it would lock that video so it couldn't be overwritten. Now, this is the Vantrue GPS viewer. This will actually allow you to view not only the video, but also the GPS information on the video. So you'll see it'll show you a compressed file. So by compressed, I mean instead of showing you each 5-minute clip, it'll take the entire drive and put it as one section. You'll notice on the side there, it'll show you the time of the drive and the distance of the drive. If you scroll over the overlay right there, you can actually see all of the information, the G-sensor information, the latitude, longitude, the speed, etc. And that's an easy way really to track through the video. And you also have these graphic overlays at the bottom. Those can be customized. You can add things like altitude if you so desire. But for me, I just really want the G-sensor and the speed. If something were to happen, that would be an easy way to track it down within the video. You'll also notice you have a speedometer on the side. Will show you how fast you were going throughout the video. Now, the picture is pretty clear. You'll notice the zoom. You can very clearly read license plates. No big issues there. And you can even click through the map on the left, and it will take you back to where in your journey you were on the video, based on where you were on that GPS map. So a plethora of information here. Another thing that you do have the ability to do is save these files as a group if you wanted to export them to a different area, but you can also export that GPS track. I'm not sure many people that would, but you do have the ability, if you wanted to export this track into Google Maps, maybe see the trips that you took, the actual GPS information, you could export that file. A few very simple settings you can change. You can change between metric and British imperial units if you so desired. Other than that, most of the settings I don't imagine many people would really use. You might want to change the time zone, and graphics are where you would add those extra graphic overlays at the bottom. Like I talked about, you could add things like altitude, so forth and so on if you wanted that extra information. Now, looking at it in the app on this video, I'm sure is kind of hard to see the quality, so I do want to show you a quick example video that I recorded just throughout one of my drives earlier today. Now, this is just a clip I exported straight off the camera, no editing, nothing like that. You'll notice the clarity is pretty great. I've had no issues, no real wobbling. I do have the microphone turned off just because I don't like the audio personally myself, though that is entirely up to you. Ideal lighting conditions, no issues whatsoever. I also should have some videos from nighttime. I'll show you what the nighttime driving conditions look like as well. But I've been extremely pleased, especially with how affordable this camera is, with how good the video quality is. The HDR does really make a difference. The colors do come out spectacularly. Now, in my car, I do have a very steep windshield, so sometimes in direct sun, you will start to see a reflection of the dash. I'm looking to see if I can find a polarizing filter that would fit over the lens in order to correct that, but you'll notice even when I am having those glare issues, there's really not much of a problem. The clarity is still extremely easy to read license plates and more than enough information to provide in most circumstances. So overall, I'm extremely happy with the N1 Dashcam. Between the quality of the video, as well as the extra functions that the GPS brings, I've been impressed. I've had no issues for the most part, except for, like I said, the glare issue, and that's largely because of the actual angle of my windshield, based on how my car was made. And the initial setup was a breeze. I had no serious issues. And the support line, I did have to email them for a quick question just regarding a software update I'd seen something about. Their support's extremely responsive and extremely helpful. So overall, I'm impressed with the product. I'm impressed with the support. This is my first Vantrue product, but I'm sure I'll be back to try out some more of their equipment in the future. So in summary, the GPS functions work great. I'm really impressed with the quality of the feature set that the PC application brings. The quality of the video is excellent. Though a few things that I would note are, again, might see a slight glare issue based on how your car is made. It does only support up to a 32 gigabyte memory card, but it will automatically overwrite if you have not locked the file. I haven't had any issues. That's about five and a half hours or so of video. I can't imagine needing more than that out of my dash cam personally. And outside of that, I've had no concerns. So I think it's a great value. I think it's a great purchase for anybody that wants to get started with a basic dash cam. And even for those GPS functions if you do decide to add that. So I hope this has been useful. I hope you have more information regarding the purchase, and I will be sure to be back to review once I do get the hardwiring kit installed, but looks pretty painless as well. So thanks guys, and I hope you have a great day.